instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rangers Podcast, where we talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if we can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight, we're going to the mysterious Dudleytown.
Ooh.
Yeah, tucked away in Connecticut. Not even really a town. More, some would say more of a hamlet. I don't know if they say that right.
In a sleepy little hollow in Connecticut.
Yeah, sleepy hollow in Connecticut. Some wild stuff happened, and apparently still does happen. But
From time to time.
But before we get into the mysterious Dudleytown, I'm going to send it over to Jay for tonight's jump scare.
All right, thanks, Ken. All right, so we have a submission from listener Ashley from the great state of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley says, something invited itself into my friend's home. She says she's told this story on another podcast, but it never got aired, so, well, I guess we're going to lay claim to it.
Sloppy seconds. We'll be sloppy. We'll be sloppy seconds. I'm fine.
That's fine. No, we'll take it. We'll sloppy Joes, whatever. But this is one haunting experience that really freaked me out. When I was younger, I had a next door neighbor named Lexi, and she was my best friend. Our parents would go on trips on motorcycles with each other, and we would camp out at one of our houses until they came back. It was normal for us. We never had any paranormal events prior to this specific night. We were sitting in the bedroom talking and doing what we normally did. We saw a bright light through her window, followed with the sound of motorcycles pulling onto the gravel driveway. We instantly think, okay, our parents forgot something. But before we could even get up to leave the bedroom, we heard a knock and soft woman's voice say, hello? And the front door opened. This was a familiar sound because the door scraped against the hardwood flooring. We panicked, thinking there was an intruder at this point because this woman didn't sound like our family. And she says that we have very Texan-sounding voices. We scouted the house, scared out of our minds, just to find the front door wide open and nobody in the driveway. Nobody was in the house. We finally felt better. We walked back into her bedroom. But before she went to enter, she collapsed onto the floor and started sobbing. I didn't know what was happening. I was scared, and she told me something as tall as the door frame was standing in her parents' room. After our parents returned, her family continued to have paranormal activity in their house. They eventually moved out. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Ashley, Texas.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think scarier? Very tall entities or very short entities?
Very tall.
Right. But you know,
very short, because at the very, very least, you can punt that motherfucker right out the window or whatever.
But you know when you see them scampering and like leaning and shit? That's creepy.
You know what though? I just think of those like YouTube videos from like Indonesia with like the little sprites and like the little puppets, and it's like, wee, we're having fun. Like, he's after me, Lucky Charms or some shit. But the tall ones,
the same country.
It's I'm Irish. I can say it.
Yeah.
I like when you have to think of it's like it's tall as a door frame, or like what if you're standing in a room and the thing has to like duck its head under the door frame? It's like, oh, I don't like that.
Like, and it follows the tall man in the hallway.
That's exactly what I was going to say when I read this the first time. I was like, this reminds me of the something about the It Follows. But what I like about this one is that it's she didn't see it. The friend saw it, and as soon as she saw it, she collapsed and started crying. Like,
isn't that what you would do though? Wouldn't you know what I mean? Wouldn't you just
to this day, 43-year-old man. I was like, that's it. Sorry, find somebody else to...
I'm dead.
That's it. Yep. No, I there's something about that too, because like I don't know what part of Texas this is, but as soon as you think of Texas, I immediately think of like Native American something, some kind of like just I don't know, like I hate it is what I'm trying to say. Is like
I get it.
these
I was
tall,
picking up on that. Yeah.
tall entities coming. No.
Whew. Oh.
So it's interesting because she says that that after this they continued to have paranormal activity in the house. So it's like, did this set something off? Like, was that the first time? And then she says that they ended up moving out not too long after.
Well,
So,
as soon as I heard the motorcycles pulling up, I was like, "Oh, this is the Lost Boys." You know, and they're like,
Right.
"Michael."
but it turned out to be Ghost Rider.
Yes.
So
Yes, it did.
I don't know.
We
I
don't
like
know.
it. Hey, like we said a million times, we're not here to try to even figure it out. We're just going to discuss it and say, "Holy shit, I'm glad I wasn't there."
Yeah, or make fun of it. But this is a good
Right.
one.
Well, though we only do that with the ones that throw like everything but the kitchen sink into the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. We're not going to say it this time.
No, we are not going to say it.
No.
But
I don't want that we're in the new place. I don't want
look, you might have a new phenomenon that
We'll
occurs
see.
over there. We will see.
We will see now
Yep.
that hopefully we get back on a steady schedule here.
Yeah.
My
I mean,
moving's done, which was like 2.5 weeks of hell.
moving is the worst thing on planet
Yeah.
Earth. No.
And moving, like, I love now being on the third floor of a place. Like,
Yeah.
like,
You
I
just
feel
pee
like
out the window now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. I smile with my morning coffee. But the amount of stairs and the carrying heavy stuff up, to the third floor, it's been a nightmare. But I'm loving it.
You got to hook up one of those pulley things that they used to do back in the old days out one of your windows there
Yeah,
and just hoist the groceries up.
Yeah,
when the kid comes, hoist the kid up.
Yeah, that's been an idea, but I'm just gonna go with one of those 3-wheeled stair dollies they make.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we've been doing some research. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, but that's coming soon.
That's some good thinking.
Yeah.
I first saw the 3-wheeled dolly in was it Hannibal, where he rolls the dude down the steps and then he like cuts his guts out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool.
it is cool.
I don't think I'm gonna be doing that. It's more like Walmart trips and stuff like that.
Right.
Carrying like I got to carry the Deer Park waters on my shoulder. It's a nightmare. But
I hear you, buddy.
anyway, got a little special haunted headline.
Haunted headline.
Guys, from the Asbury Park Press, on October 31st, 1986, a 5-year-old Jason McKittrick wins first place in the Toms River Halloween Parade with Dracula costume made by his mother. Front page, Asbury Park Press. This picture, dude, you're sassy. You're a sassy little bitch here, man.
Well, I'm glad. Well, thanks for including me as today's haunted headline.
No, you're welcome. I'm looking at this now, dude. The way you're holding the cape too, like.
Look, man, I knew it was up. And what you can't tell is that's like my wagon, like the Red Rider wagon. They turned it into a coffin with the tombstone, so I could sit in it and have a blanket because it was, back then it actually was cold around Halloween.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man, that was my thing. I actually wore that costume to school a few times because, I mean, me and Dracula we're best buds.
Yeah, I love the karate woman behind you in this picture.
Yeah, she probably lost because that's weak.
Yeah, and she was probably doing some very non-PC voices,
Probably.
Back then,
it was
different
1986.
times.
Rules were definitely different. But man, that was one of my favorites. I have a few pictures of me in that costume, and as you know, it continues today. What was it? 2 years ago, I was Party Drac for Halloween.
Party Drac was sick. Yeah,
So it's something that I always go back to. But that's one of my I think we talk about this on this podcast. I don't know every other episode of magical Halloween memories, and that's one of them, man.
It's a good one.
So had to post it today because I was like, you know what? I'm tired of some bullshit. Let's put something fun.
Yeah, and I saw it and I was like, I think that's our haunted headline.
There it is. And then I was like, you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah, it's a good one. I appreciate it. Isn't it funny though that like me and you we're the only two races that you're still allowed to make fun of? Irish and Italian.
Yeah.
You're still allowed to, like, openly.
Yeah. I think many comedians have talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Irish is, yeah. I mean, Polish too, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, but that's kind of gotten old because like they do like the older dumb jokes. Like
Actually, this is actually kind of prescient right here. Dracula being Transylvania, you can pop out that accent whenever you want and not get
it's true.
you know.
It's true.
Yeah, Drac might be taking it back. Watch out. That might be his
This
that's
might
the
be
next
his year.
thing.
I don't know.
His year. Drac's taking it back. I don't know.
That'd be sick. I'd love that. Drac takes it back. 2025.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'd get behind him.
Can you imagine an Irish Dracula?
Technically, Dracula is Irish because the story was written by an Irishman.
Touche.
Yeah.
I meant with the accent, though. You know, like.
So you're thinking more Vlad Tepes Dracula.
Excuse me. Tipish.
That just means the Impaler. His real name is Vlad Dracula. Yeah, I mean, like he traveled to Ireland, or like
I'm going to suck your fucking blood.
oh, like he's just he just comes out.
Hey, we lass, I'd sink me teeth into your neck.
Yeah, I mean, Irish vampires were a lot less suave. They were more the the Revenant Dead type.
Slam down a couple points before he bite your neck.
Yeah.
Got to get a good buzz. See, I'm doing it too. I'm making fun of. You're allowed to do that.
You totally can.
Please
totally
eat a nice big potato meal before I bite into your neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the taste. Potato blood. Potato and booze blood.
Hey, it's a take. It's definitely a take.
Irish Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's your thing this year. The cape could be the flag. Leprechaun outfit, but vamp it up.
Doesn't stop talking about Conor McGregor.
Right. Instead of
if he ever made a comeback.
Oh, you fucking great. Whatever the fuck they say. Change the color scheme from red and black to green and orange, but keep the velvety look. So green velvety fucking cape and like suit, but the inside of the cape is orange.
Jeff Cap,
Could go with you could do that. You could. Or the classic, top hat, but just keep that orange and green color scheme. Give him red hair.
The medallions on the cap, the Irish, the derby
could do
style
that,
cap,
or on his shoes instead of the buckles.
Right, good call. And then
you never know.
Italian Dracula just beats his girlfriends.
Ooh, ooh, lot of gold medallions, not just one.
Yeah.
No shirt, just the one.
On his rings too, and his bracelets.
Yeah.
He just turns into a baseball bat and not like not a bat.
Yep. Definitely pinky rings. I mean, we could go all day with this.
White wife beater.
Yes. Bloodstains on it though, not his.
Yeah. Get in the fucking castle.
Yeah. Get in the casket.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Diane. I love you, baby. Get in the fucking casket.
Probably. You never know, man. But speaking of vampires, I think we forgot about this. I think we're going to have a little movie review, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Before we get into Dudleytown.
Before we get into Dudleytown.
Yeah.
In 45 minutes from now.
It's been a while again. Sorry. Moving, everything's been nuts, and we haven't got a chance to do this. But yeah, dude, we both watched Nosferatu. Yeah,
so I saw it in the theatrical run, and then I just wanted to wait for Ken to be able to see it, and it came out on video. What was that, last week? So
yeah,
Ken was able to try, to finally see it, and
sat down, no distractions.
No distractions. Ken wasn't playing the home run derby while trying to fucking watch it. None of that bullshit.
I sat in my new living room, and
and watched the film.
Yeah, watched the film. Made the wife watch it.
Nice.
Nadja, nice film.
Right.
Yeah. And we, she didn't like it because, it's Robert Eggers and it's for fans of real film.
Who didn't like it?
Britt.
Oh, she didn't like it?
She was like, this is fucking boring. She'd probably hear me right now like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Boring. All right.
I was a fan. No, I was a fan. There was a lot, dude. Once again, visually.
Oh yeah, a visual masterpiece. It took me a bit to digest the whole. I mean, there's no spoilers at this point. He's rocking quite a stash in this movie, and it took me a little while to get used to it. A little more of the. He went very historically accurate for his Count Orlok.
Yeah.
He looks great. I mean, the whole section where he's in the castle when.
Yeah.
I always want to call him Jonathan, but it's the other character because Nosferatu is an adaptation of Dracula, so they changed the names. But he. It's a feast, man. And then you get to see his ding dong.
Yeah, he hangs dong.
He don't hang nothing, man. That looks like a Pez dispenser. It's like doing nothing.
It's more of a ding than a dong.
Right. It's a ding ding.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved his voice. I mean, as soon as I heard his voice, I texted Jed. I was like, dude, this voice kicks ass.
Yeah, so he apparently, the guy, so it's played by
one of the Skarsgård brothers.
Shit.
The Pennywise one.
Yeah, the Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård.
Billy.
That. Yeah. So apparently he to do the voice, he went and like trained in like voice training and did some of the stuff that like those like Tibetan monks do to like bring their voice lower, and you can hear it like
the
when
throat
he's doing
singing
it.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a new take. I mean, there's definitely elements from you can definitely feel some Bram Stoker's Dracula in there, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's some. He even said there's some. I saw it. I noticed it afterwards, after I read an interview. But like, there's some Batman Returns in there. I was like, holy shit, yeah, there is. The part where they see his house and you go through the gates and it has like the snowy look to it, like and it also this takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, you got to throw it up to Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, for just having a conniption the entire time.
Yeah. And she's one of those ones now, Lily Rose Depp. She's like one of the ones like, yeah, I'll be naked. I don't like.
Yeah.
Should I do it anyway? And they're like, we don't need it. She's like, I'm gonna do it.
She's like, well, why don't we film every scene me with clothes on and then me with clothes off in case you come back and like, we don't need you to take your clothes.
She's like, I'm gonna do it.
My dad said I could do whatever I want. It's like, all right.
Yeah. He won court against a woman at the peak of it.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm kidding. Come on, I'm Irish.
I don't know, man. It's all sorts of topsy turvy over there.
Every actor crushed it. Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
De force in this.
We were just talking about this the other night. Me and Christina were watching. I was like, any movie is instantly elevated if he's in it.
Yeah, dude.
Like
when he was saying to her that like if we were back in Egypt, you could have been a high priestess of Isis.
Yeah.
But like now at this point, like him explaining like that. You're just gonna have to die, like that kind of like, and the way he put that whole thing, I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. I know someone else wrote it, it was Robert Eggers.
Sure, but it's the performance that you want.
Mm-hmm. And him just like playing that cagey, like in a fucking room with his cats, like alchemist, is so cool.
Yeah, and he's somewhat low key in this one, but then they still give him they give him that scene where he like lights the coffin on fire and like, all right, and he was like, Robert Eggers was like, all right, Willem, you be Willem Dafoe now, and he's like,
yeah.
Whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah, and he's just doing his face and he's just like waving the shit around. I was like, dude, yeah. And then you get the ending scene there, and
oh yeah, the ending scene. Your classic, your kind of classic reinterpretation of like a Death and the Maiden kind of imagery, but then just the whole like, it's a very different take, and I really really appreciated it because it made it more. It was like, not that he was the victim, but like the vampire was like, fuck man, I can't resist you. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
this isn't fair.
He's like, this isn't fair. Like, and it's an interesting take, and I got to give that to him because even though this wasn't an original story, it's the first one of his movies that's not an original story. Right. I really got to give it to him because it's a feat. It really is, and they really put together easily top 5 vampire films for me. Dude,
it's pretty sweet, man. Like I loved the traditional like shadow hand imagery over the whole city. Just like he nailed that once again. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's so funny that finally, like, the critics and everyone are like, oh, yeah, I liked the other stuff. What are you talking about? I never gave his other stuff a bad.
It's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah,
it's like, you did not like the lighthouse. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
You all shat on the Northman and the lighthouse and the witch. Like,
everybody's doing their thing with that. They're like, ooh, it's this. Ooh, it's this. Or a lot of people will give the, I don't get what the big deal is. It's like, dude, this guy, give this guy credit where it's due because he's I'm sure, there's there's great filmmakers out there that we don't get to hear a lot about because they're indie and they don't get the big studios. But this dude has kind of like indie sensibilities and like art house sensibilities, and he's doing these huge pictures. So you got to appreciate it, at least on that level.
Yeah, and like he levitates tension to such a peak. Like I remember when I first watched The Witch, I was like, dude, the bad guy in this movie is the area, like where they are.
Sure.
Like, just it was just so crazy, and like just to think about. And I was like, also the bad guy is the tension. Like it's just like he had such a way of punching you in the face with everything, and it carried over from all his movies. I don't think he has really a weak point, because a lot of people would be like, oh, they're kind of long and like the pacing. I'm like, no, they play out the way they're supposed to, and his visuals, like go back to The Northman when they're doing the family tree.
Oh,
you know, and they're going up. It's so visceral. It's so just like, oh God, like it's gross, but like old, and like you can almost smell it through the screen. You know, like
or towards the beginning when they're ramping up around the campfire when the berserkers, after they you know obviously took the mushrooms and they're starting to like it's like holy shit. Or the scene when they go into the you know, he goes and gets the sword from like the zombie Viking. Dude, that.
Then even the Valkyrie.
Oh, yeah. Who is not wearing braces, by the way. Those are carvings into her teeth. It was awful.
Yeah.
No, man, I really, really love the guy's stuff. And his next movie is called The Werewolf. Apparently, it's a medieval werewolf movie. So
let's go.
Let's from vampires to werewolves. Yes.
Yeah, yes. We got a witch, we got a vampire, we got a werewolf.
Yes.
You know, we got a classic Norse tale.
Yep, with witches in that too, and all sorts of weird supernatural shit in there, zombies in there, and all sorts of their version of the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight.
Right. Then there's like that weird creature Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. She's not human. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No, not at all.
Whatever that thing is.
No, man, it's great stuff, and you know. It was kind of cool that it came out on Christmas. I was like, all right, a Christmas vampire movie. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, it's
totally cool. It's like, and that's kind of like the best way to describe it. It's so fucking cool.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And I, you know, that guy, I've listened to a bunch of interviews with him. Like this guy, you know, this guy could hang. Like you would definitely want to have a couple beers with this guy. It's like, this guy's fucking cool. And like he would, you know, somewhat of a man after my own heart. It's like, you know, talking about weird history stuff that most people aren't talking about. It's like, you know, but what about these things? And it's like, you know, he would definitely fit into you know, conversations with the two of us, I'm sure.
I'd split a case with Robert Eggers. I'd split a case with him.
Yeah. Well, you know, Bobby, if you're listening, and I know you're not, come have some Miller High Life with us. It's got a witch on the bottle.
Yeah, get the tattoo with us.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, Nosferatu, if you haven't seen it, go out and see it. Well, you don't have to go out. You can watch it at home. But
thumbs up.
Thumbs up, man. A+ from me.
Yeah, same. All right. So, guys, let's get on our carriage, our little, you know, horse-drawn carriage here. Take a little cobblestone ride to the entry of Dark Entry Forest in Dudleytown, Connecticut.
I'm envisioning myself like Ichabod, like Johnny Depp Ichabod, like when he's in that carriage and like, you know, the credits are rolling. You know, looking through your sketchbook at all the weird shit you put in there. Yeah, I was trying to set you up for that, you know. Us envisioning that. Yes. So Dudleytown. This one I was not familiar with until our buddy Mr. Ballin did that video. He I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting, and recently I was saying, you know, me and Ken were texting back and forth because we'll talk about, you know, topics, and I was like, you know what, Dudleytown, and you agreed, and I rewatched the video. I was like, yeah, this seems pretty good, and it's one of these ones where it's like there's like a whole thing that's kind of arisen around it, right? Because now it's just all these urban legends and whatnot have kind of like arisen around it. Now it's like its own, like, you know, it's and then it gets the Ballin effect treatment. Once Ballin covers it, that's it, man. That's it. So the videos on YouTube go crazy, you know. They do, because it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because I was just looking today. I was like looking at some of the YouTube videos. It's all stuff aped from his videos. I'm like, come on, guys, you can't get your own fucking research on this.
Right.
I hate it.
The one guy who did do a lot of the research on it, which I have to give credit, even though his voice annoys me, he does do good videos, is Mystery Archives. I think you've hopped in the car with me and it's just like popped on when I've down there
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, his voice is kind of lame, but he
Yeah,
does a good job with research and finding out stuff and, you know.
It's funny how many of them are AI too, because you start listening, it's like, this is AI. Okay. Because the one I was listening to, it was like, you could tell they copy and texted some of Mr. Ball and stuff and then just re-put it through the AI. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
This
dude,
town of Dudleytown is an abandoned settlement. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that voice, in an abandoned settlement I know the voice you're talking about.
Or they put like a little echo on it so it sounds like they just recorded it in like their kitchen or something. It's like, you're not fooling anybody.
Right. Well, now they do it. It's like they call it like a set and forget style. So basically, you get the text, video or the text to speech, and you just go, give it a prompt like ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It'll come up with the entire wording.
Yeah.
They'll take that, they'll put that into the voice program, add the nuance to it. Then they'll take that and put that into the video processor, and it'll just process the background stuff for it now. That's all they do, and they just post that.
Dude, that's like every paranormal video on YouTube now.
Yes.
You can hear it. It's like, because now there's so many like idiosyncrasies put into it, like the breath or this kind of, they'll put stuttering in there too. Like they'll fuck up a few words here and there to make it sound more naturalistic. I was like, holy shit. But I think it's just the way of the future, right? If you can just pump out content, you don't got to do nothing but, copy and paste into an AI and just post it. It's like, wow.
That's why no one will ever remember their names,
It's true. Thank you, Achilles. All right. So Dudleytown is an abandoned settlement located in a valley known as the Dark Entry Forest. In northwestern Connecticut in the United States. I'm going to have to ask a friend of the show, Jenny, if she's lived near here, because she is a Connecticut original.
Yeah, we should. I also asked her, or I commented on her tires post that, it was great, where I was like, I can't wait to see where you snuck in the ODP t-shirt.
Yeah, she was like, you guys didn't give me one. Oh God! So it's best known today as it's a ghost town. It's it's a little worse for wear. Due to vandalism and trespassers, the site is not open to the public, and they are not fucking around. Apparently, they I don't know how true the stories are, but a couple of kids were chased off the property with gunshots. Don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be like chainsaws,
with the bag over their head.
Yeah,
from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, or even like chainless chainsaws, so they're just like haunted house ruling them.
Yeah, the things that scare my wife more than anything else on this planet. It's so funny, man. Did I tell you this last time when we went to Valley of, or no, where'd we go? Bates.
Bates, yeah.
She's a mark for it. So like the dude came out and I like pointed, I was like, get her. And he was like, right behind her head. She ran so fast. She almost knocked some girl over.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
It was
Sick.
It was the thrill of a lifetime. So since the mid-1920s, the land occupied by the village has been maintained by philanthropists as a private land trust. Okay. Who work to reforest the land after decades of agricultural use. Only a few traces, such as cellar holes, remain of the original village. Like, it's literally what it is. You'll see some like brick-lined areas, and it's just like a depression there, basically, because this has been settled for a while. Due to rumors of ghost activity beginning in the 1980s, the village site has been subject to frequent vandalism, and the owners have since closed the land to the public. Yeah, so if you're, they're also really not fucking around, like I mentioned, because some of these videos that were up on YouTube for a while of kids sneaking in there, like they get them to take the videos down. So I don't know what this private land trust. I don't know if it's owned by like the Shandor Mining Company, but it,
Someone, I mean, anytime there's like a financier of sorts that like, takes care from afar. Yeah, there's some spooky stuff going on.
You think the Grovers are involved? Right off the top.
They have to be. They have to be. This is one of the entry, points from the other dimension. Where like the Sasquatches and all the other cryptids come through.
Sempervirens. Yeah, exactly. So Dudleytown was never an actual town, like you mentioned earlier. The name was given at an unknown date to a portion of Cornwall that included several members of the Dudley family. It's none of these. It's like this cursed lineage. It's like some Lovecraft territory. The area that became known as Dudleytown was settled in the early 1740s by Thomas Griffiths, followed by Gideon Dudley, and then 1753, Barzillai Dudley.
First of all, Gideon Dudley and Barzillai Dudley.
And Abiel Dudley.
These motherfuckers are at meetings, okay?
Yeah, these are Satanists for sure. They're burning candles. They're some chicken blood.
Yeah, they're burning kids. They're doing, they're part of the crew.
They're related to the Klopeks.
Yeah.
Martin Dudley joined them a few years later. Yes, yeah, exactly. Is this your vehicle, Dr. Clavin? Martin Dudley joined them a few years later. And there was also a whole bunch of other families that settled there. I heard up from 16 families, and another article said 23 families. So, I don't know, man.
Martin Dudley seems like the one that's like not part of it all, you know?
He's like half in, half out, right? Like he kind of grew up with them, but then he went out into the world, like, got some real learning, and then he came back. He's like, wow, my family's really fucked up, and then they, attacked him and ate his head or some shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so a real, this
found
is very much
found out they were descendants of like monkey people, white apes in the Yeah,
this reminds me of a story or something. I don't know. As with every other part of Cornwall, Connecticut, Dudleytown was converted from forest to farmland. Families tilled the land for generations. Located high on top of a high hill. Other references say it's a valley, but Dudleytown was not ideally suited for farming, where more fertile and spacious land opened up in the Midwest in the mid-19th century. And as the local iron industry wound down, Cornwall's population declined. So this is kind of, your classic, New England, like, farming fell off, industry fell off, and then you have these weird backyard, like, yokels that kind of, like, erupt, and they summon, like, an elder god or something.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened. I'm just going to say it right now.
Look, from what we hear of the place, I can't argue that.
Right. This is basically the lurking fear, just, the real version.
Yeah.
So the village, quote unquote, was located a few miles south of the Cornwall Bridge neighborhood of Cornwall. It was located in a valley known as the Dark Entry Forest, due to the shadows caused by the mountains surrounding the village and access road. This is really interesting. I don't know if you came across some of this, but it's like they talk about like the weird way that things grow here, because like after like noon, it's dark because of these mountain shadows. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. Like you get these very densely kind of like grown forest there, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like the forest from Princess Bride.
I was gonna say Mountain Shadows. That's a band name.
That is a band name. I like it. The town's abandonment has meant that barely any ruins of the original township survive. During the early 20th century, old farms in Cornwall were sold to New Yorkers seeking a better life in the countryside, including Dudleytown, which has been privately owned since 1924 by Dark Entry Forest Incorporated.
It's this. Dude, come on,
they're not even trying.
Yeah,
they're like owned by Owl God Incorporated.
Yeah. Owned by Moloch's Children.
Yeah,
Inc.org.
Yeah, Drinking Children's Blood Incorporated. Jesus. Once again, the land surrounding the village site today is closed to the public. They're not even being like, cute about it. They're like,
this is where we farm adrenochrome. This is
exactly. And organs. We have headless living bodies. We cut the heads off and we just use it for organ farming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's down here. Mm-hmm. There's probably like this old rusted out shack. You go in there and there's like, then you descend a staircase. There's just like a facility that's the size of like, 4 football stadiums underneath the ground.
Yeah, it's like Cabin in the Woods. Yeah.
Yes. But yes. Yeah, I'll go with that.
But not as cool.
No, a lot more creepy and a lot more ew.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing down here? Ew.
Yeah. Ew. I don't like it.
And who would? In promoting the land trust to investors, a March 1924 prospectus, for the Dark Entry Forest stated, "This society is planned to promote forestation, to run a wood mill, to promote conservation of bird, animal, and wildflower life, and to afford a playground for you and your children and your children's children." That's some kind of satanic manifesto. What do you think?
I was gonna say that sounds like some like
you have to
political stuff that they say and they hide dirty shit on.
Yeah, it's thinly veiled. Yeah, it's like, and you have to memorize that before you can come through the door.
Yes, yeah.
Like you put your right hand up and like, "This society is planned to promote forestation, to run a wood mill."
Yeah. And they go, "All right."
Yep. So soon after acquisition, the owners planted thousands of trees. During the 1930s, New York Skid Riverian Club spent their winter weekends skiing on trails they built in the area. What the fuck is the skid? Dude, the link is broken. I can't even click on it.
Yeah, and not only that, them planting all the trees, like they thousands and thousands. That's them hiding bodies.
Yeah,
each tree is a body underneath it.
Ken, they're making it another grove.
Yeah, this is the new grove.
Yeah, Dark Entry Forest
was supposed to be until.
Well, yeah. Where was it? The
Ventricality Club?
Yeah, the they went there and had some good times in the summers. They canoed down the Housatonic River. Horse riding camps for children were also held on the site. This place stinks. That's all I know.
Yeah, this is all horse shit, dude. This is, oh my God. Oh, just for these quaint 5 families, like the Joneses, the whatever. There's like 5 names that you're like, okay, they're in the club.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, if we could do a cross reference between like Grovers and like people who have been like, members of Skull and Bones, I'm sure there's the Venn diagram is sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's basically at this point, it's just this. There's more in the circle, like in the middle.
There's like 2 guys that were just like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. It's like Jim and Dan. They're on the outside. It's just the 2, and the rest of them.
So Ken, Dudleytown is said to be haunted, though.
Yeah.
All right. A local rumor that has been frequently shared on the internet alleges the founders of the town were descended from Edmund Dudley, an English nobleman who was beheaded for treason during the reign of Henry VII. From that moment on, the Dudley family was placed under a curse which followed them across the Atlantic to America. Dude, this is Rats on the Walls now.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
This curse is blamed for instances of crop failures and mental illness, as well as several purported violent deaths in the village. Local historians have found no genealogical link between the Dudley family of Cornwall and the English nobleman, and noted many other factual inconsistencies in the rumors. Look, these people try to smudge their shit away. They're like, no, there's no link. They destroy paperwork.
All we're missing is the unreliable narrator. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like, who disappears, who went up there one weekend looking for clues about his genealogy, then stumbles back half mad and,
spends the rest of his days in Arkham.
Yeah.
Just, and the thing is, it's like it's even written like it's told by the unreliable narrator. Like they're like, someone say this was happening. There's a headless guy. He's a nobleman, but we're not exactly sure where he descended from or who's exactly talking about what. Like
somebody found a white polypus thing in a field one day and the horse stepped on it and everyone was like, ew. Yeah. We know what's up here. Yeah. Actually, this story's been around a long time. I guarantee Lovecraft knew about this.
Oh, sure.
And it's in Connecticut, so this is his bread and butter. He read this. He was like, ooh. He's like, put this in the notebook.
Yeah, he's like, my pants are getting tight.
Howard was a weird guy.
Yeah, that's something that would get him all.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Where were we here? Factual inconsistencies, which, of course, they're just throwing shade here. They're just like, no, man, no, they're just trying to throw us off the scent.
Yeah.
Records have shown the land was originally occupied by the Mohawk Nation as sacred ground. Okay, we've got that aspect, of course. So it could be a fucking Wendigo. The villages...
Write that down.
Yep, Wendigo. It's probably like fucking Skinwalker Ranch, too. You know what I mean? Like, all this shit.
It's one of the portal stations.
Think about it. You have all this weird... All right, so first of all, it was a weird site because, Native Americans, whatever happened there, there could be some kind of things going on there, burial ground or some kind of weird rites or one of those areas where they would banish people to. Who knows? Then you have the weirdos from England come over with their, eating people shit and whatever the fuck they're into. So you get that on top of that. So basically you come up with, this is like essentially like a Skinwalker Ranch kind of situation with weird people wearing powdered wigs and whatever the fuck they were doing when they came over here.
I went back recently and I was listening to the Bedtime Stories two-parter on Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
And I got to the point again where they talk about the blue lights.
Yes.
That eventually you see the things crawling out of.
Yes. Oh, and like doors would just open in thin air.
And you see the things crawling out like...
Yeah.
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's fact. That's real. Like, I don't even care.
Well, that's fact, obviously.
I've been working out of my headphones, and I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, put that in the true column, at the top of the true column. Obviously.
Yep. That's how they come through. They crawl through the portal, and that's what it looks like. They can
create wormholes. Yeah. Apparently, they don't need these fucking ships.
Yeah. So Dudleytown, this is happening there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ken Cannon.
There we go. Since the 1990s, police in Cornwall have responded to numerous cases of vandalism. In 1993 interview with Playboy, actor Dan Aykroyd referred to Dudleytown as the most haunted place on Earth.
I'm doing an air drum solo now.
He narfled the Garfac, that guy. In the same interview, he mistakenly stated that Dudleytown was in Massachusetts. All right, don't give him a fucking hard time. The guy's got a lot rolling around in his skull.
He's from Canada. It might as well be.
And you know what, dude, when you know how much coke that dude did?
All the stuff that guy did. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, people need to start leaving Dan Aykroyd alone.
They do leave him alone, but Dan Aykroyd is the patron saint of the paranormal, in my mind. He should be canonized.
Dude, I had on
Sir Dan of Aykroyd.
Yeah. The other day I was going through, I was putting I got new card slots for all my collecting cards.
Yeah.
And I was going through and putting them in. I got to reorganize them too. And I had the Unbelievable on with Dan Aykroyd, and I was just I love you, man.
Yeah.
He's talking about. He's like, all I would need is a proton pack and a trap. I was like, yeah, dude, you would, yeah. Keep say that after everything. Use that as your joke after everything, and I'll never get tired of it.
It's true. However, Casper and his three pals were too much for him.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not canon.
Here's why that wasn't him, because he just had the mustache.
So that was the
evil twin. That was Anne Aykroyd.
Okay. I can go with that.
Yeah. That's his, that's the, on the soap operas when, I'm his evil twin.
So that was Jan Aykroyd?
Jan Aykroyd, yeah, basically.
Gotta love that man. The 1999 movie, The Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Okay. They're getting us.
Yeah,
about a haunted forest prompted increased interest in the allegedly haunted village. This increased the frequency of incidents of vandalism. The owners of Dudleytown's property have closed it to the public. They really want you to know that they've closed this fucking place to the public.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because, dude, you might stumble upon, they're like, oh, no, those are just, cellar, pits and carve-outs. No. That's the entryway to, some organizations, underground alchemy pit where they summon
Alchemy Pit, that's a band.
Yeah. Alchemy Pit is a band.
Yeah.
They summon demons to turn anything into gold, and then they use that gold to feed Sasquatch, and then
so like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of situation.
Pretty much for Sasquatch encrypted food, and then they eat the gold, and then aliens come and farm the poop from the cryptids. It's a process.
All fact. Obviously.
Fact list number 2, that story.
Exactly. So some of the problems with Dudleytown and why it never really moved past its, never really
Inception.
became. Yeah, exactly. Because of where it was nestled, if you will, Dudleytown remained more of this isolated village, right? It never had any shops. There was no schools. There was no churches. So it never really had a chance to become anything other than that it was this timber and iron ore, with mills and furnaces. So it really never had a chance to kind of like survive past anything once these, industries dried up. But you want to hear about some of the tragic events and bizarre occurrences? That's what you're here for, right?
Yeah. That's why I come to these things.
Yeah, exactly. Ken's actually not on the podcast to like host. He just shows up. He's like, "Oh, we're going to talk about some weird shit," and then we just throw it up. Mm-hmm. So the Carter family, plagued by a mysterious illness, lost several members to a devastating plague that showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Subsequent incidents, including unexplained deaths, insanity, and disappearances, cast a shadow over the town. Residents like Tanner and Abel claimed sightings of eerie creatures in the surrounding forest, while General Herman Swift's life took a tragic turn after his wife's lightning-induced death. This was wild.
Yeah.
She just gets hit by lightning.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one family member's like, dude, there's these creatures.
Yeah, that's the one that was like, because that gets brought up again later.
Yeah, because then another family member,
well, no, not the doctor's wife. We'll get to it. The lightning is interesting because you talk about this. There's not much. I don't know. There's not much
evidence
fact around it.
Yeah.
Evidence. I don't know. But they're talking about this area that has all these trees, and you're nestled into this little valley. You're in shadow. How the hell are you getting struck by lightning in there?
All the trees are taller than you, man. I don't know.
Right.
There's not a lot of space. If there's so much shadow.
You think God just hated her?
Yeah. He's like, you know.
That's on her tombstone. God hated her.
Yeah. And then the tombstone gets struck by lightning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, what was that from Benjamin Button, where the dude gets struck by lightning like 15 fucking times, and they just have it throughout the film?
I
don't tell me that you hated the film. I'm just referencing it.
No. I'm just saying. I remember like watching it, but not watching it. Like, I remember we were still at the apartment, the old one back in the day, and like Ryan would watch it a bunch, and I kind of was just like, ugh.
Okay, that's what I just said not to do.
I didn't hate it. I just was like, I don't know.
All right.
It was all
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
If someone gets struck by lightning, and that's probably the funniest part of the movie.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Can even the prominent editor Horace Greeley and his wife Mary fell victim to inexplicable phenomenon leading to Mary's untimely demise? Now that's funny to me because I came across this one. They pull this guy's name up. You see Horace Greeley a few times, and all they say is inexplicable phenomenon. They don't say what happened. Right. Now, is this tied to this insanity that people seem to come down with? Did she get struck by lightning like 15 times in a row, like something crazy, like you've never seen before?
Maybe.
Or did the creatures get her?
That's more plausible, I'd say.
Okay.
Because realistically, you get struck by lightning once, you're done. Like,
some people have survived, though. A few?
Tiny.
A small fraction have survived?
Small fraction of people. Like, you'll see a group of like 4 people, 5 people.
Yeah.
And a lightning strike will hit near them. All gone.
Oh, no, I know. There's it happens all the time. People be on the beach, lightning strikes the water, and people on the beach get killed. No, it's some wild shit, buddy.
Yeah.
So we have another family. I think it's pronounced Bro. The Bro family. Broe.
All from New Jersey.
Bro.
Bro.
No, that'd be the Br family. It would just be BR.
Yeah, sorry.
The Bro family. The last inhabitants of the original Dudleytown faced a series of misfortunes, including livestock losses, illness, and accusations of theft. Their sons vanished under mysterious circumstances, leaving patriarch John Bro bereft. His home eventually succumbed to fire, driving him to wander into the forest, never to be seen again. With the Bro family's departure, Dudleytown became a desolate ghost town haunted by its troubled past. This is where I was trying to draw in the link, honestly, to Skinwalker Ranch. Remember the first family that lived there before they turned it over? Like, just all these weird occurrences that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Their livestock would be found in weird places. Like, they didn't get hurt, but just weird,
one time
menacing shit would occur.
They were all like piled into like a trailer at one time, like, and it was just like locked from the outside. Like, yeah.
And then they're getting because that's that one story. They're getting the cattle out of there, and then that weird wolf shows up.
Yeah.
that have like human hands or something, and they shoot at it and it does nothing. It's like, dude, don't tell me these things. I can't reconcile that with anything.
Yeah, that's real life scary stories tell the dark shit.
Yeah, what do I do with this?
Yeah. You put it on the fact list.
Right. Okay. Obviously true.
Obviously true.
Right.
Ridiculously true.
Right. Exactly.
Right here.
Unbelievably true. Sure. So then we come up to this famous story made, that I mentioned earlier, made famous by our boy, Mr. Ballin. In 1906, Dr. William Cogwell Clark and his wife, Harriet, stumbled upon Dudleytown during a countryside drive. Captivated by its natural beauty, they envisioned building their second home amidst the serene wilderness. Despite initial enthusiasm, their dream turned into a nightmare when Harriet's mental state deteriorated, haunted by visions of sinister creatures lurking in the forest. All right, what are they? Go.
Ooh, something Native American.
I like that.
Yeah,
like some kind of shadow beings.
Yeah, not like a skinwalker. They have like some name like Inakawati.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, and you hear like a before they like,
right.
And it's like some weird Native American like ritual instrument they would play before they would get into like before they really would get into it. You just hear that because it's like a paddle with like rattles on it, and they just you know,
yeah.
And then they come out kind of like, you know, almost like temple guards.
Ooh. So they're in there trying to put together the idol of the silver monkey.
Yeah. Picture putties from Power Rangers and temple guards.
Okay.
And then throw like just tar on them.
Okay.
And they roll around in the dirt and they're just
so kind of like in Ghost with Patrick Swayze when when they come out of the shadow when someone evil dies.
They kind of make that sound, which was just babies crying in reverse. Apparently, I just found out.
Yes. I hate that. I hate that so much.
That's what they do. So
yeah,
that's what's in Dudleytown. Don't go there if you hate it that much. I'm sorry, buddy. I
kind of want to go though.
Yeah, I'd go.
I honestly, I'd be like, you go there and you'd be like, you know what, this place is kind of awesome. Got to be honest. You'd be like, this isn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then it gets, everyone's talking shit. Then it gets dark, and you're like, oh. Fuck.
Then you hear that.
You turn into one of those dudes those streamers that like go there and camp overnight. Like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Overnight camping,
dude. Oh man, we just had on while we were unpacking stuff. We had on. I was like, let me just put on something mindless, so that we won't get caught paying attention to it. You know, you do that. You're like,
we do it when we work here every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So I put on Ghost Adventures, and it was the one episode where they went to that house in like somewhere California, where like the older lady killed like 14 people.
Oh yeah.
And me and her were cracking up because Zach's having a thing again. It was just after Billy was crying, and she's like, "Why does everything happen to him in an episode?" I was like, "Well, it's right after something happens to someone else." He's like, "Also me, but but way worse." You got some, me too, but it's worse. Like
Zach and Billy broke up again, so Billy's in the corner crying about it, and Zach's like, "I fucking hate him," and then
he's like, "Oh, I'm
gonna get possessed now.
I've been ghost drugged." That was the thing, like.
Yep.
But he's sorry.
It's fine. I think that was right around the time they had the episode near Roswell where Zach gets possessed by the ghost of an alien. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Do you think that's unbelievably true as well? Does that go right into the obviously true category?
I can't put that there.
No, I can't do that.
I'll put that in
Ghost of a werewolf, no problem. Ghost of an alien?
Yeah.
No. I need to see more data on that.
Yeah, I need to know like what level of dimension that the alien ghosts hover in,
I mean, if you could lay it out for me, fine.
What device are we using to communicate with them? Because we're not getting them on the REM pod.
Obvious is the Ovulus, obviously.
Yeah. Is it the Ovulus? Can you? I don't know.
That's a t-shirt. Obviously the Ovulus.
I like it. I want that now.
Me too. And like, guys, what equipment should you use? Just pop that shirt out. Obviously the Ovulus.
Every time.
None of this shit does anything but beep. What do you want to do with them?
The paranormal puck too. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Hey, isn't this just a fucking a cooler covered in like tin foil with like some lights on it. Some LED candles thrown in there for, I don't know what it does.
No, it detects the spirits.
Oh, okay. That's why the LED lights blink. That's a spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a spirit. It doesn't, pick up radio frequencies that are just like suddenly turned on or anything.
That was
if
a good.
Click my radio, it's not going to affect that.
Right. I don't know, man. There was a good 5-year period where every paranormal show, 40% of the episode was. I'm like, I can't watch this shit anymore. I think I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Yeah. And then I would use the Ovilus to find your ghost.
Right. Well, you do what you got to do.
Oh my God.
All right. So over the years, Dudleytown's legend has only grown, with reports of phantom figures and eerie sounds haunting those who dare to venture near. You ready for this? Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren labeled the area as infested with demons, leaving behind more questions than answers. Yeah.
Oh my, demons, really?
The problem is that the land trust wasn't interested in doing a book deal, so it never went anywhere.
Yeah. They said that. They were like infested with demons, and they were hoping someone would jump at it.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we don't want to attract the people to where we eat the children.
Side note about the Warrens, and I feel like I'm definitely doing a public service. I go onto the Other Dangers Instagram, and I look at all the paranormal stuff, and anytime someone brings up the Warrens, I just write in all caps, fraud.
Into it.
Yeah. I've gotten an unbelievable amount of hate.
Good.
I love it.
Yeah, it's the best.
It really is. The Warrens, we've been there. Please go back if you haven't. Listen to our episode. I still get people mentioning this to me like, oh, I really liked your Warrens episode. I'm like, yeah, because they suck. Yeah, and Ed was essentially a molester.
Yeah. Essentially, definitely.
Yeah. That's absolutely, obviously true.
And he beat Lorraine into...
Yeah, he did.
Into being that thing she became.
It's true. He's like, all I want you to do is shake and say you feel something in this room.
And when I die, keep it up, because I'll come back.
She's like, yeah, he will. He's that much of an asshole.
Yeah. He's that powerful an asshole.
Yeah, but he doesn't mean it. It's my fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. So.
Yeah.
So have our young ward.
Yep. I don't. It's funny that they get that their name gets tied to literally everything.
Yeah.
It's like that's them casting their line everywhere. They're like, hey, we don't know who owns this place, but we went there and there's demons everywhere. Anybody? And people are just like, fuck you. Like, all right, we tried.
Yeah. Then enough time passed where like, that thing that everything that was old becomes new again. And then that happened in the 90s, and like they had a resurgence, and then they spawned a bunch of followers, and then the 2000s hit, and it happened again, and
yes, yep. So that really kind of wraps up the whole thing here, man. I mean, it's you've got all these anecdotal stories. Yeah, you've got the history, you've got all this, but it was isolated even for its time.
Yeah.
So any of these stories are kind of just been passed down, and then now it's off limits and no one can go there. This really just serves to kind of, I don't know, amp it up, right? Like it kind of
telling people they can't go and kind of making up like reasons why.
It's not because of the creatures,
or because of the Grover connection.
Yeah.
We don't want the liability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't want anyone being eaten by these fucking ghost monsters.
Yeah. Or getting possessed by a alien ghost.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what
do we which alien ghost?
Yeah, like what went into his head? Was he like, guys, I'm gonna do it? Did he like, you think he said that before?
What season were they on? Like season 24?
Was he like, guys, I'm gonna pull the trigger on this? No one's ever done it.
Do you think he actually talks to them when they're not rolling camera?
No. That's actually even a better. Yeah, no. He
comes in. He pulls up in his douchemobile.
Yeah, he was in his trailer looking in the mirror, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull the fucking alien ghost trigger.
I just talked to Jason Blum from Blumhouse. He said I should do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome. You talk to demons and ghosts, Zach.
Yeah. He He has a carpet with fucking Nick Groff's face on it that he walks across every time he comes into the
He's got
trailer.
on his toilet paper too.
Yeah, his toilet. Yeah, the whole shebang.
He's got a real doll.
Oh, he's yes, and it's anatomically correct, but only so it's really, really like him. It's not for any other reason.
Yeah, no.
No, he doesn't get down on that thing. He also has
He curses at it and
punches it.
Yeah, and he's like, "You can't get possessed by demons, you liar."
Get possessed by something else. I don't know. He's got the dartboard. Yeah, I think he went in that day. He like woke up that morning. He's like, aliens, ghosts. Is there no similarity here? And he was like, ooh, I think there is. And he went onto the set and he was like, I'm doing it. He didn't discuss it with anybody but himself.
And he thought they were gonna their minds were gonna be blown. He was like, they're gonna be like, yo, greatest idea ever, when in reality it's the silliest fucking thing that I've ever heard in my life.
They peaked and then immediately nosedived.
Let's not make a comparison.
I almost did.
I know.
I was right there.
I saw the light in your eye. I
didn't say anything about Roosevelt Boulevard. Nothing. I can't remember the cross street, or I would say. I don't know, man.
Thank God you could.
I know it's what it is. I don't know, man. I think he's just. I think he's cooked. I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't know where they're going to go beyond here, but they're still putting episodes out. But they peaked definitely with that episode when they did the peyote out in the desert. That was it. That was it for them. After that, and they're driving around in their Jeep for they're like, we've been out here for 16 hours. It's been 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he probably had a vision, it probably worked for him.
Was that when he received the vision of the alien ghost?
Yeah.
Ghost of an alien?
He's like, you can now communicate with the spirit of all creatures.
Right. Including
extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional.
All right, so does that mean if there's ghosts of aliens, right? All right, so humans go to...
Bigfoot ghosts?
Humans go to regular heaven. Dogs go to dog heaven. Is there an alien heaven? And why the separation?
Good fences make good neighbors.
Right. Okay.
And you just don't want humans and aliens boning in heaven, because that would happen.
Is that... Yeah?
Wow. Yeah. Look, I saw Bill and Ted too. So.
I knew this was going to be a weird episode, and I'm glad it is.
Yeah. Because Bill and Ted 2, Station was there.
Station.
And you're going to tell me that those two little fuckers didn't get wild with some heaven babes?
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, because the ghosts of Zip Zap and Gleepcore, they're not going to be any kind of that's not going to be anyone's problem. They're just like, nope, not coming in. Yep. Nothing. They're
going to be in Alien Purgatory, probably.
This opens up a big can of worms.
I knew Dudleytown would. I knew Dudleytown would open up a can of worms.
Listen, all right. I get you. I know where you're at. But what do you think's going on here? Do you think this is just like a silly town? It's scary. There's just some ruins there and nothing's going on. Or are we talking full-on Grover? There's a subterranean statue of Moloch that we can't see from the air. What?
Before we actually got into this episode, my research led me to go super anecdotal.
Yep.
Not too much that I could be like, okay, this is definitely real. But the more we talked about it, I'm going full on family connection, Grover,
right.
Old blood,
right.
Village, town where some wild shit happened, and they're just stay away because we don't need anyone finding any evidence. No Moloch statues.
They dug too deep in the earth when they were mining for the ore, and they awoken something.
They released the shadow beasts.
Shadows in flame.
Sorry. But they released the shadow beasts, and they started wiping people out. And it was basically, the demons.
Why isn't this a movie?
Because Hollywood sucks balls.
Yeah. It's not a sequel or a remake.
Yeah. And, we're not teaching some silly lesson.
Teaching silly lessons.
Huh.
No, I'm with you there. I like that it has all these weird... I like the anecdotal evidence, but what kind of brings it home for me is that it's, like you're saying, that it's closed off. Why is it closed off? If it's nothing there and it's just a bunch of whatever, why is it closed off? And that's kind of like,
tell me why. Like, but like, there's no. It's not like it's Centralia or like where there's like crazy danger out there, or is there? Like, tell me why we're not allowed to go out there.
I don't know, but they're not selling me on like, oh, there's nothing out here. We just want people out of our fucking property. I'd like to think that this is, like I was saying before, this is almost like a Skinwalker Ranch kind of situation where it's like, you know, there's high strangeness there. I think this is like one of those areas that's like, you know, it's a focal point. Yeah. That's what I want to believe. I'm going to Fox Mulder it.
Exactly. And that's why those families moved out there.
Yeah.
You know, they were all part of some club.
I think the families moved out there, right? They didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew it was out there, right? First families go out there. They start, you know, fucking around, building their shit. Hey, lots of woods. There's lumber. We also found this ore.
We're fucking around. We're building our shit.
Yeah, fucking around, doing the scene. And then they find something. They tap into something. And then that's when the other people start coming in. Because they're like, no, we found some stuff. And then someone back in New York City gets word of it.
Gets wind of it. And they're like... Yep.
They come down there. They start planting trees again to replace the ones that they cut down. They're like, no. People can't find out about this. And now they have this, like, you know, almost like no man's land kind of like buffer between the actual site and then like the outer area of like, you know... So kids are coming in. They're like, oh, look at these like ruins or whatever. But like in the inner area, there's some shit going on there. Like some kind of, you know... I don't know what.
CERN, like Hydrogen Collider.
Something like, you know, there's some kind of like ancient kind of something there.
Stargate?
And like,
there's a Stargate
something like
there?
That. Yeah. Okay. Something along those lines, but definitely evil. That's what I'm going for. Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they even brought J-Rod there one time to be like, what is this? And he was like, look, guys, this is a little beyond you. Honestly, I'm a little scared of it. I don't want to...
Older than me, older than our people.
Yeah, it's older than me. Yeah, this has been here since the planet was still cooling, and everyone's like,
"Yeah, fuck. Yeah." Well, the planet was, and then one guy drops a nut. He's just like, "What?
What?"
Yeah, no.
Yep. They were like, "It's always been here. It's always been alive." Yeah, exactly. See, this is why I can't. You look into this stuff long enough, and then my brain just takes over. I'm like, this is there. Yeah. They found this, you know. Yeah. This president was involved. This, you know.
Yeah. I've already connected too many dots that like my brain is already like.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So, but it's all obviously true now.
Obviously true. Yeah. Unbelievably true.
Unbelievably true.
If we ever have to change names of our podcast, it's going to be unbelievably true.
Oh my God.
Dude, this is so true. I can't believe it. I know.
Yeah. We should do episodes. Like that should be a thing. Like Unbelievably True Part 1, you know. Yeah. And it'll just be the most fake shit in the world. Well,
we're gonna have a live recording next Saturday for the next episode, right? We're gonna do a live record. I think we should.
Well, like
just talk to your mom for 10 minutes.
Yeah, get interviews. Just do that one. Do that kind of thing.
Ask Eddie about his knife business. Just go. And then you could put Nora on there for 10 minutes, and she'll just talk about whatever, and then that's it. Like, Nora, tell us about Hollow Knight, and then that's the rest of our episode.
All right, sounds good to me.
There you
go. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see.
Nah, man, you don't want to be working that day.
Yeah.
Tell us how the Zitty is.
Oh God, so much stuff to carry. Like I'm already getting rid of boxes. Going to be bringing over so many more.
Yeah. Yep. You're going to need somebody to help you bring shit home.
Oh, definitely. I got to get shit out of my fucking car now. That's still shit. I got like my training swords. I got like my Geon in there. I got like my Irish Thorn cane. I got like mic stands and shit. I got to get out of there.
No, you know. Well, I think we've bothered these people long enough. All right. Any closing statements on Dudleytown?
Yeah, it's all real.
It's all real.
Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. It's the portal. It's the portal.
Yes, and I also think some of the tunnels that are connected to Bachelor's Grove and some of the subterranean bases probably come out there too. I don't know.
Yeah, there's subterranean tunnels, speed trains.
Just thinking about it makes me feel gross. That's my closing statements.
Yeah, the gross stuff happened. Well, all right, guys. That's all we got for Dudleytown, Connecticut, and for Zach Baggins, and for our first remote episode at the new People Like Studios satellite recording station.
Mm-hmm.
For the Dangerous Podcast, I've been Ken James.
And I've been Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening.
Spooky.
Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you